A portion of this video is brought to you by Sheath Underwear. For more information about Sheath Underwear, visit the link in the description or wait till the end of this video to hear more from me. Once again, Republicans demonstrate in broad daylight their disrespect for the Constitution of the United States, that its rules apply to everyone else except for them. And in this case, it's Donald Trump, the same guy who said December of 2023, I believe, that he has every right to terminate all rules and regulations and articles, even those included in the United States Constitution, because of the fraud in the 2020 election that did not happen. And now he's declaring on Truth Social that all the pardons that Joe Biden issued are void, vacant, and of no further force or effect. That's not how it works. Donald Trump has zero authority, even as a sitting president of the United States, to void pardons already issued. And we'll get to that. I will show you the receipts because that's what I come with. First, let me read this dipshit's post on Truth Social. The pardons, capital P and in quotes for some reason, that sleepy Joe Biden gave to the Unselect Committee of Political Thugs and many others are hereby declared void, vacant, and of no further force or effect because of the fact that they were done by auto pen. In other words, Joe Biden did not sign them, but more importantly, he did not know anything about them. More importantly, he says, he didn't know anything about them because he has dived into the inner workings of the mind of Joe Biden, the former president of the United States, and he knows what Joe Biden knows and doesn't know. That's what he's trying to say. The necessary pardoning documents, capitalized for no apparent reason, were not explained to or approved by Biden. He knew nothing about them, and the people that did may have committed a crime, says Donald Trump. Therefore, those on the Unselect Committee who destroyed and deleted all evidence obtained during their 2-year witch hunt, capitalized, of me, and many other innocent people should fully understand that they are subject to investigation at the highest level. Not the lowest level or a mid-level, at the highest level, everyone, says Donald Trump on Truth Social, as though this is a presidential declaration and proclamation. Ugh. The fact is, says Donald Trump, who's so attuned to facts, the fact is they were probably responsible for the documents, capitalized, that were signed on their behalf without the knowledge or consent of the worst president in the history of our country, crooked Joe Biden. Yeah. So here's the deal. Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution says a whole bunch of things, but specifically it outlines the pardon power of the President of the United States. This is what is said in, again, the document that Republicans, all federal employees, including senators and congresspeople, the President of the United States, all of these people act like they're constitutional purists. Yet they just don't give a single shit about the actual words and concepts protected in the Constitution pertaining to our rights. Here's Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1 of the Constitution. The President shall be Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy of the United States and of the militia of the several states when called into the actual service of the United States. He may require the opinion in writing of the principal officer in each of the executive departments upon any subject relating to the duties of their respective offices. And here we go, and he shall have the power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. So he can't intervene. He does not have a check over the Congress relative to impeachment proceedings. And if you notice in there, the Constitution's very specific and clear about what rights and duties someone has, and also what they cannot do. The Constitution states what you cannot do. And if it's not stated that a president can revoke a pardon, then he doesn't have that pardon power. That's just the way it works. And further, the Supreme Court has ruled several times that unless there is a case that a pardon can be revoked, but it's not fully that way. It's if a pardon was like administratively granted, but not delivered to the person, accepted and delivered and accepted by the person, then a president could revoke a pardon because it's not a full pardon yet. It's not an official pardon yet. But all of these pardons were delivered to the recipients. They were accepted by the recipients. Donald Trump has no power here. Zero. Let me read from this. This is related to a case called Commonwealth versus Holloway, which happened when a pardon wasn't delivered and it was attempted to be taken away. Anyway, here, this is from Commonwealth v. Holloway. No question arises in this case concerning any right or power on the part of the president to revoke or recall a completed pardon. It's not a question here because that's not something that can be done. In the language of Chief Justice Lowry, before cited, quote, the completed act is the charter of pardon and delivered. This is the one and only step that gives title to a pardon. Until delivery, all that may have been done is mere matter of intended favor and may be canceled to accord with a change of intention. So it's the delivery of the pardon, the acceptance and delivery of the pardon that makes it irrevocable, even by a president. Donald Trump doesn't have the ability to announce on social media as though that's the proper venue for a presidential proclamation. Ugh. And I'm going to continue here. I placed my decision in this case solely on the ground that there never was any delivery of the pardon to the petitioner or to anyone for him. There never was any completed pardon. So if it's not delivered, it's not completed. And this sentence is really where it gets to it. It has not been contended on the part of the United States that the president has the power to annul or withdraw or cancel a completed pardon. Upon the ground that there was no delivery of the pardon, in this case to the petitioner or to anyone for him, or to the warden of the prison, who by act of Congress had the exclusive control and custody of the petitioner. I hold that the petitioner is not entitled to be discharged, this is a person in prison, and that he must be remanded to the custody of the warden of the penitentiary at Blackwell's Island. This was a case involving a post-Civil War issue. However, there's been another case involving George W. Bush who intended to deliver a pardon, and then it was found out that money had been given to his campaign by the guy's father. I believe that was the case. And then they rescinded the pardon, and there was a bunch of like, oh, you can't do that. And the Supreme Court said, well, yeah, you can because the pardon wasn't officially delivered. That's the way it gets done. But the Republican Party, Donald Trump, all of these assholes, they don't care what the courts say. They don't care what the Constitution says. They don't care about the rule of law. What they care about is retribution and punishment and revenge and weaponizing the government, ringing a bell, weaponizing the power of the federal government against individuals. That's what they care about. And Donald Trump, dumb shit Donald Trump, dipshit Donald Trump, who has no understanding of the Constitution, no regard for it, no respect for it. Why would we expect anything different from this idiot who, by the way, this was at 12:35 a.m., just raging into the night on social media? Again, what do you think? I invite you to this conversation. You can call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, as always, daily at dollemore.com. I do want to hear from you. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore just about everywhere. And I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another. I talk nearly every day about how divided we are as a country and the havoc that this division wreaks. But not all divisions are bad, right? As a mathematical concept, for instance, division allows you to split things into equal parts, allowing for equal shares. Division of labor has, for thousands of years, allowed humans to evolve their efficiency and specialization when working on certain tasks. And you can ask any kid to tell you that dinner is far better when the meat is divided from the veg. And what's more annoying than when you're sitting at a cramped table or out in the humid weather than having your meat smashed into your two veg? Is the meat and veg metaphor working here? It's time to divide and conquer with Sheath. Sheath makes the most comfortable boxer briefs I have ever worn. Regular boxers are just too loose and bunchy and not great. And briefs are just a smush fest. Sheath are the solution. Head to sheath.com and use promo code Dollemore to score 20% off and upgrade to the most comfortable underwear you'll ever wear. I'm wearing a pair right now, and indeed, that may be all I'm wearing under the desk here. But really, sheaths are the only underwear I wear. Absolutely fact. Their testicular tech features dual pouches to keep your mane apart from your sides. More dinner metaphors. Note, if you're not into the division for some reason, you don't have to use the dual pouches at all. Just throw your sheaths on like regular pair of underwear and you're good to go. Also, Sheath's stretchy fabric is super soft and made with moisture-wicking technology to keep your president and his cabinet cool and comfortable throughout the rigors of the day. I love my sheaths all the time, but they are particularly clutch in the sticky heat of DC summers, which is basically like 9 months out of the year. They were invented by a U.S. Army veteran while serving a tour in Iraq. The idea for Sheath came from discomfort in harsh environments. As a former Marine stationed in that part of the world, I get the inspiration. The airflow meshes are my personal favorite, but Sheath has tons of excellent styles and designs. Pick a pair and Sheath will hand them to your doorstep nearly instantly thanks to blindingly fast shipping and amazing customer service. Also, Sheath supports multiple charities like Socks for Soldiers and Doctors Without Borders. So with your purchase, you're making the world a better place too. Upgrade your undergarments, score 20% off right now when you head to sheath.com and use code Dollemore. Divide and conquer your discomfort with Sheath underwear.